Hey folks, Alex Story with Skill Mammoth Digital, and today is day 28 of me building my agency in public. This series is really just kind of like a self accountability journal for me, a video journal that's in public. So it pressures me to actually focus on the things that I need to do to grow my business, make it bigger, better, and more awesome. For the lucky viewer that is you, you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of what it takes to build a multiple 10,000s company, right? Multiple five figures, right? And hopefully beyond, right? So that's what you get to see. If you want to follow along with me, you can. I know many folks that are watching this are growing their own business or starting their own entrepreneur journey. So feel free to follow along with me. Every single day, I ask and answer these 4 questions. How much money did I make in the last 30 days? What am I doing to get more of it? What am I doing to keep it, aka fulfillment and client success? And what am I doing strategically, right? What am I doing to fix inside my business? So let's jump into it. In the last 30 days, I made $39,292. I did get one retainer payment in today. That was around $1,100. So that's the big movement today. Nothing new, right? No new client acquisition, just a retainer payment. But this number, this nice, impressive number is going to start dropping because my recurring is only around 13K. But yeah, we'll jump into what I'm doing to get more for the sales motion. So today I sent 564 cold email. I got 6 positives. So they've all been replied to. We built the lead magnets for them. I did get a couple replies to the replies, usually asking for pricing. Let me know what you guys do when folks ask for pricing. How do you I've just been telling them because it's literally on my website. I don't really hide it, but it is what it is. I sent 12 Loom InMails. So the way this works, since my company does, websites and SEO, it's very easy for me to just do a quick teardown of somebody's website if it's trash or if it's not getting traffic, because I can use my reporting tool just to see hey, you're just not getting any traffic. We can get you more of it. So I do 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes 7 minutes if I'm getting too technical. And then I just send them that video and, every once in a while I get a response, right? So this is day 2 of me doing this. I've probably got, 24 looms out at this point. I did 3 LinkedIn DMs, sent, 25 connection requests and people accepted. And then I got 3 DMs and I did send 1 proposal out, which is pretty big. I'll talk more about that proposal in just a moment. Still no meetings booked from cold. I did get an inbound booking just for my website, right? I get, a couple hundred clicks a week on my website just from our SEO. But some of these meetings it is what it is because it's SEO. So this person came from a non-US time zone. They're using a Gmail email address. They have a company and they click the budget button. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not sure they're a fit. So we'll see what happens, right? I got my meeting tomorrow. My guard's up, right? But there is a real whale that's brewing. So I talked about that chiropractic franchise a couple days ago, but we've talked about different ways for them to get leads. It's a very interesting business model because their lifetime value per client is not very high, right? So it's a high volume, low ticket that they need to do. So really, what's funny is what I'm selling them is exactly what I'm going to talk about what I'm doing for Skill Mammoth today, but they get the benefit of having much more volume. But if they do it for all locations, it's a $4,500 a month retainer, which is great. That'll hit my goal of basically being at 18K by November 1st immediately, right? So this is 1 booking that I can get. So we'll see what happens. I sent a really fancy 2-pager. It's a franchisee that I'm talking to, so he has to bring it to the board, but we'll see what happens. What am I doing to keep my business fulfillment wise? So there are 4 projects still open. I'm going to get it done on the weekend. Just head down, clear the plate. So next week is free to sell. I do have 1 sales call on Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. And let's talk about strategy. So right now, cold is doing okay, right? I'm getting plenty of positives. And I could probably just shake that tree just by doing cold calls and get probably a good 30% of those to book a call with me if I just could spend the time. And I'm continuing to follow up with everybody. So I know eventually some of these positives will turn into booked meetings. But in the meantime, I do have lots of people who already know me in some form or fashion. So I think I'm just going to do a reactivation campaign. So let's go ahead and do that live. While I've been talking here, I've had Claude kind of running the background, just running some numbers for me. But in the meantime, I'll kind of show you what I'm thinking about. So these are kind of the areas where I think I could potentially reactivate or, in this case, just talk to more warm audiences that might be more receptive to me just because we have some shared community, right? So Old proposal sent, right? So let's just see if Claude did its thing yet on my other monitor here. How many proposals have we sent, right? So it's still running, but I'll get a number soon. But old proposals sent, I feel like these folks, are going to be pretty good, right? We've got all the way to a sales call and they just didn't buy for whatever reason. Sometimes that reason is just not the right time. They just don't have the money at the moment. So maybe they have the money now. Or if I hit them with a new offer or talk to them about maybe a new feature, that we've started adding to our websites, they might buy. So I'm just going to guess probably like 20 at this point of old proposals sent that where people didn't buy. There's probably more, but I've got Claude kind of looking at my Notion for that. I use Notion for my CRM and also just emails that I've sent out too. So it's looking through my Superhuman MCP and then my Notion CRM. All right, Chamber of Commerce. So I am a member of a Chamber of Commerce in my area, in the Minnesota area. And I had Claude earlier run through it all. That you get access to the mailing list, a big directory of folks. And I had it just take a look at it, see who's in my ICP. And so 74 people on that list. So I'm thinking for these folks, I could just do like coffee. So I'll just start putting this out actually. Let's do, so let's say for old proposals sent, the tactic is going to be, give value, new offer, or say, hey, we do this now, right? So like, hey, I talked to you like, 6 months ago, we were going to build a website, but now we added missed call texting to the feature to help, wake up those leads. Is that something you're interested in? Or just show them a case study, right? For the Chamber of Commerce people, I think that's kind of like that'll be a slower play. Hey, we're part of the same chamber. Want a free call, right? Or not a free call, but like coffee. Want to get coffee, right? And then I could just kind of subtly talk about like, hey, if you're looking for folks to refer to me, this is what I do. They get X, Y, and Z. Do you know anybody that would want those things? Right. And then, obviously the thing is like, oh shit, this is really cool. I want it for me. Right. So that's the whole point, here's who my primary client is. Do you know anyone like that? Wink, wink. Right. So that's going to be how that conversation goes with the people in the Chamber of the Commerce. Old proposal sent. Yep, that's going to be what that is. For BNI, so BNI stands for Business Network International. I'll kind of show you what that is. Just BNI, right? So BNI, oh, it's going to have me log in. BNI, just Google, right? Just Google it. So this is a networking group, right? It's a pretty old school, right? Like probably like 30 plus years. And theoretically it's international, right? It's in the name, but there's these chapters all over the country. I'm in one that has 50 people, but one of the benefits of it is once you join, you get access to all the BNI chapters. You can visit any one of them and you get a list. So I've had Claude kind of go through while we were talking, and the number I came up. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there are, 1,136 people just in Minnesota. Okay. So we'll put that there. So 1,136 just in Minnesota. Now, not all those people are going to be, decision makers. BNI, it's filled with a lot of people that are like, like salespeople for these companies, these larger companies, but a decent amount of them are going to be decision makers. So let's just lop off like 70%. So we'll say like 300. So 300 just in Minnesota. And I think we try the same thing. Where, hey, we're both members of BNI. Let's get a coffee. I can tell you more about Skill Mammoth. You can see if you want to refer folks to me. I can refer folks to you. And wink, wink, do you know anybody who wants this awesome offer that's better than anything else on the market? And then hopefully they like that. The next thing is first degree connections. So I have a pretty decent LinkedIn following. I've got like something like 4,000 followers or something. And so I had Claude go through it earlier today and just fine. So 90 people are my first degree connections. So these are a little bit warmer than people that you're just DMing like out of nowhere with just be like, hey, been a minute. And I could either ask for a referral or maybe even lead with value. So I could, of those 90 people, I could say, hey, it's been a minute. I did a free audit on your site. right? And just some sort of lead magnet thing where they're like, oh, cool, yeah, let's book a meeting for these first degree LinkedIn connections. And these just filtered by owners because I got a lot of people. I'll show you. So I've got, I had it go through, and I just took out all the jobs that I used to work for, because I'm connected with a lot of folks at my previous jobs, and then I just did self-employed 10 to 50, and then I put all these jobs in there, that typically are decision makers, and then I just made sure that it's not somebody I've messaged before. And these are all my first degree connections. I started by first degree connections. So these are all people who've connected with two ways, and hopefully I can get in the DMs with. So yeah, I think I'll lead with value on this actually. Yeah, I won't just say ask for referral. I'll just lead with value. So I'll spend some time, 5 minutes per client, maybe doing research, and then 5 minutes for like a Loom video. 5 minutes per prospect, I should say, not client. That's good. And then newsletter. So I have a newsletter. It's got 700-ish people on it. Most of them are people who've attended webinars I've done in the past, or people who've, obviously go through my sales funnel. But, I'll just cut it a little bit less than half and say 300 are actual decision makers. So maybe I do the same thing where I lead with value with them. That's going to be a lot of research and calls and stuff, but maybe I can leverage Claude at least for part of it. Because these are good reactivations. And then old interested is a lot, right? So this one would have to be some sort of automated. I might even just make this like an instantly campaign. So these are folks who, in some form or fashion, have responded positively to my outbound in the past. That's so redundant the way I said that. But I think like an instantly campaign, semi-personalized. But, we're playing on the fact that they know who I am. Like, hey, it's been a minute, right? Hey, did you know 6 months ago you said yes to this thing? We sent it to you. I know at that point you didn't book a call with us, but do you want to book a call with us now, right? I think that's kind of what we're going with. Let's see if we have a real number here, before I kind of end my little exercise. I'm just going to go back to my Claude. It's still looking through the my Notion and my Superhuman MCP for how many actual old proposals were sent. But this is going to be my strategy. I think to actually put some goal numbers on this, let's just add, of this, let's just do 20 a day, right? So the goal is 20, touches with this reactivation, folks, every single day. And, and some of this could be fairly automated, right? For these ones, I probably want to email from my actual like Skill Mammoth email address. But I could still at least use like snippets and drafts and like mail merges and stuff like that. Low likelihood that they're going to mark me as spam because, we're in the same clubs together. So I think I could send maybe 10, 20 a day, just using like mail merge or like drafts that way. Same with this one. I could, for the old proposal sent, we got pretty far in the funnel, like actual multiple sales calls. So I think the Skill Mammoth email works for that. This is going to be cold domains, right? Just because of the volume, right? Don't want to risk burning my own domain. And then newsletter. These are going to be Skill Mammoth for the mode, and this is just going to be LinkedIn DMs for this one. So, 20 touches a day, right? 20 touches per day on this reactivation, right? So that should get me, if I can do this, on a 5-day work week, that's 100 touches to fairly, warmish clients. I imagine my actual percentage of book rate will be much higher than the cold campaigns, just because I'm playing up the fact that these folks know me in some form of fashion. So anyway, let me know if you have tips on like how you would reach out to these audiences, with these different people. And then, I'll let you know how it goes as we kind of approach. But need some meetings on my calendar. Like I said, I try to get 2 meetings booked a day, and I'm averaging 1 or less over the last couple of weeks. And just need those numbers to go up, because if I have 2 meetings booked a day, it's impossible for me not to hit my goals. Anyway, bye for now.